All right, so we're diving into Palantir, right? Specifically, their Q3 2024 business update. Got the report right here, and let me tell you some really interesting stuff in here.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for starters, huge growth in the U.S. commercial sector.
Interesting. Always good to see.
And get this, AI is really starting to make waves, actually making a real-world impact.
Not just hype.
Nope, the real deal. We're talking like straight out of a sci-fi movie, but actually happening.
Sounds promising. I'm always a little skeptical about, how much of this AI stuff is actually making a difference.
Oh, you'll see. It's in the numbers. I mean, their financials are incredible. 30% year-over-year revenue growth puts them at $726 million.
Whoa, that's impressive.
And even more, if you take out the strategic commercial contracts, revenue still jumped 32%. So it's not just growth, it's serious acceleration.
What do you think's driving that?
Well, I think their focus on the U.S. commercial sector is a big part of it. 54% surge year over year, hitting $179 million. They're really tapping into something there.
Yeah, makes sense. Companies are really starting to understand the power of data.
Exactly. And Palantir, they're showing them how to use it, and fast. I mean, some of these deals, it's crazy how quickly they're closing. Like this bottled water company, they inked a 7-figure deal in less than 2 months.
Really? From start to finish?
Prototype to production.
Yeah.
It's not just them, an agriculture software provider too. Same thing, less than 2 months.
That's pretty amazing. How are they doing that?
I think it's about showing results.
Yeah.
Not just talking about potential, but actually demonstrating what their solutions can do right away.
Tangible results. Companies want to see that.
And they are. The numbers prove it. 77% increase in U.S. commercial customer count year over year, and 9% jump just last quarter.
That's a real wave.
A tidal wave. Okay, so let's talk about the AI. Their artificial intelligence platform, AIP. This is where things get really interesting. Like Tampa General Hospital, they're using AIP to, get this, help sepsis patients get home 15% faster.
Wow, that's significant.
It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about people's lives,
Yeah, definitely. I'm always impressed by the variety of ways AIP is being used.
Right. It's everywhere. Healthcare, manufacturing, logistics. Like Associated Materials, they saw their on-time delivery rates jump from 40% to 90% in 9 months.
Seriously, that's a game changer.
A total game changer. And it's not just about speed, it's about saving money, too. Trinity Rail, they saved something like $30 million thanks to AIP.
$30 million, that's huge.
Huge. So they're killing it in the commercial space, but they haven't forgotten where they came from, government and defense.
Right, of course. That's their bread and butter.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's still going strong. U.S. government revenue up 40% year over year, hitting $320 million.
They've got a lot of trust in that area. Makes sense they're still doing well.
And they just landed a new 5-year contract with the U.S. military worth up to $100 million. All about expanding AI and machine learning capabilities for the Maven Smart system.
So they're really pushing the envelope.
They are. Have you heard about their visual navigation tech?
VNav, yeah, I've heard of it.
This thing is designed to help autonomous drones operate in GPS-denied environments. That's huge for missions in tough situations.
It is. And it's not just military either. I heard the Ukrainian government's using Palantir's platform for humanitarian demining.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah, it shows you how versatile their technology is. Not just one thing, but a tool that can be applied to all sorts of problems.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's about solving problems no matter what they are.
Exactly.
Making a difference. That's all we'll talk about next. What does all this mean for the world, for us?
Yeah, the big picture. I like it. Yeah, it really makes you think about the bigger picture.
Right. But before we get all philosophical, let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. All this cool tech, got to have a solid foundation.
Yeah, the financials. Can't forget about those.
Exactly. So where are they at? Well, pretty darn good, actually. Mm-hmm. They've got $4.6 billion in cash. Billion. Cash equivalents, and U.S. Treasury securities.
Oh, wow. That's a nice cushion.
Yeah, it is. And, get this, 0 debt.
No debt. That's incredible, especially these days.
It is. Gives them a lot of freedom, to invest, to grow, to do what they want to do. And speaking of growth, their outlook for the rest of 2024 is, pretty optimistic. They're projecting Q4 revenue between $767 million and $771 million.
So basically holding steady with Q3.
Yeah, pretty much. and adjusted income from operations between $298 million and $302 million.
Healthy margins.
Very healthy. And for the full year, they're looking at revenue between $2.805 billion and $2.809 billion.
So continuing the upward trend.
Absolutely. And adjusted income from operations between $1.054 billion and $1.8058 billion.
Wow. Those are some serious numbers.
They are. Plus, they're projecting to exceed $1 billion in adjusted free cash flow for the year.
Okay, so they're making money, they're growing, they're innovating. It's a pretty good picture, isn't it?
It's a great picture. But what does it all mean? For, someone like you listening in, I think that means Palantir is they're doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, they're not just surviving, they're thriving.
Thriving. They've got the money, the tech, the proof that it works. They're ambitious, and they're delivering.
It's a real success story from, that niche government and defense player to this major force in the commercial world and still pushing the boundaries with AI.
It really is. I mean, it's an exciting time to be watching them. They're right at the forefront of this tech revolution.
And their impact, it's reaching everywhere across industries around the world.
So it's not just about software or data or even AI. It's about what all that can do.
Yeah, solving real problems.
Making a real difference. And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, I think. It's not just a business story. It's a story about potential, about how technology can shape the world.
And maybe even make it better, right?
Exactly. So as we wrap up this part of our look at Palantir's Q3 2024 business update, I want to leave you with something to think about. Given Palantir's growth, right, and all the different places they're popping up, what kind of future do you see for this type of tech?
That's a good one. It's like we're seeing the beginning, right? Yeah. But where does it go from here?
Right. Beyond the headlines, what's the real potential?
Yeah.
Maybe it's fighting climate change or speeding up scientific discovery.
Or revolutionizing education. Imagine that.
Yeah. Or maybe even changing how we interact with the world.
The possibilities, they're kind of endless, aren't they?
They really are. And that's what makes this whole thing so exciting, I think. It's not just lines of code. It's about the power of data, to shape the future.
It really is. And for you listening, I hope you're thinking about this too. What do you see? What potential does Palantir have? How could it change things for you, for your work, for everyone?
Yeah, keep those questions coming. Keep digging. Keep exploring. That's what these deep dives are all about.
Exactly. Curiosity, that's the key.
It is. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Palantir's Q3 2024 business update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.